Today we're checking out this. This is the mic mute from Addario. Yep, that's right, the guys who make strings have actually solved the problem for loop artists, singers, songwriters, actually anyone who's on stage who wants to mute their mic, but you don't want to buy a separate pedal. In fact, with this, you don't even have to think about it once it's set up. Hey, it's JP, welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before and you want to learn all about looping, live streaming, and all the tools you need for the modern independent musician, you've come to the right place. Have a look around the channel, click subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll know when the next video is out. Every once in a while, a product comes out that surprises you because you go, why didn't we think of this before? And that's this, the Addario infrared mic sensor. It's a real simple device that solves a lot of problems, but especially if you are a loop artist or you use a loop pedal with a microphone. It's not based on volume, it's based on an infrared sensor which can be adjusted with this little dial at the top here, and you can go from nothing to 24 inches. So as you cross the beam, it unmutes the mic. When you move away from the beam, it mutes the mic. I'm going to show you examples of this later on. Now, before we get going, it was actually Thomann who sent this out to me for review, and they're not paying for this review. They don't see the video beforehand, and of course, as always, the thoughts are my own, but my thoughts are massively positive about this. Big thank you to Thomann for sending this out. If you want to go and grab one of these, there is a link in the description box, which will take you to the Thomann website. It's £88 in the UK, which works out about $99 in the US. Right, let me show you this around and show you how it works. Okay, so real simple packaging. Let me just zoom in on this here and you can see it. So you've got infrared sensor, it senses your presence, it auto mutes the mic, and we've got a little bit of information about the back that you plug it into your existing microphone. And then as we get it out of the box, there's the sensor, and it comes with a little bag as well, which is quite useful. You may want to obviously just leave it on your mic, it's up to you, but if you didn't, of course it's there. Now, the thing with this sensor is it's really, really tiny, as you can see, and it's actually just fits on any microphone. Now, the key with this is that it's not battery powered. There's no battery compartment or anything like that. It runs on 48 volts phantom power. Now, here's the thing about that. You need to obviously run 48 volts phantom power to this, even if your microphone isn't 48 volts. The good thing is it works even with a dynamic microphone, which is fantastic. So you plug in your cable into here, you plug your microphone into here, the infrared sensor is here. So you've got this dial here from 1 all the way through to 9. 1 being really, really close, and then 9 being the 24 inches. That's 61 centimeters, by the way. And that switch is like an override switch, so you can tell it to override it if you need to. So this little bad boy is actually going to go on my microphone, and we're going to show you some testing of it. Now, before I show you the examples, I just wanted to have a quick word with you about looping. If you're on the fence about using a loop pedal, then what I would suggest you do is have a look at my course called How to Loop Like a Pro. Loads of people buy a loop pedal, or they get one for Christmas or their birthday, and they have a go and they go, I can't do it. Or they use a looping app like Loopy Pro and then instantly get confused. Not about the app itself, but actually about how to loop. So my course, How to Loop Like a Pro, is actually taking looping from the very beginning. It is a beginner's course, and we go from the very, very beginning. What is looping? Why use looping? And then we start going through how to loop, why you would loop, different pedals, different apps, and the whole point of it is the technique of looping. So therefore you may start on a pedal and transition over to an app or a tabletop looper. It doesn't matter because you've learned the technique and you can transfer that skill. Now, How to Loop Like a Pro originally was part of 2 courses, and then those 2 courses combined, I used to charge $199 for them. But now those 2 courses have smashed together into one, and that is the new How to Loop Like a Pro, and the price has dropped and it's now just $48. Less than half the price of one of these, and you can learn from me for a couple of hours, learning the technique of looping and then taking off the water wings and being able to do it yourself. There's a link in the description box if you want to go and have a look. Now, let me show you how this works. Okay, so what you're hearing right now is this, and this is going straight into my audio interface, and I'm recording on Logic, completely flat. And at the moment, I haven't got 48 volts phantom power going through because it's a dynamic microphone. You wouldn't do that. So we're going to put this onto it, and then we're going to actually show you how the sensor works. Okay, so I've got the adapter on, and you shouldn't be able to hear any difference, but I'm just going to showcase this for you, that I've got this set on number 2. You should see a red light. When the red light is on, it means it's on. I kind of wish that was green, though. It just switched from green to red to say red's off and green's on, like stop and go. Anyway, doesn't matter. But as I move away, and start to move away now, la, 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 la,
So let me just do this, and then I've got it set to 3 right now. I'm just going to carry on basically making it a whole tone, like a la. I'll make that noise, and I'm just going to move backwards, and at some point it will cut out. So la. Weirdest thing I've done so far. But it works. It works really, really well. And therefore, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to think about muting the mic. So if I'm, creating a loop and then I move away while I'm playing, then if I move back to the mic, it turns back on again. Why doesn't every microphone have this built in?
Now, I've still got it attached to the microphone there, and I did have one problem with it. And it was actually this microphone. This is my Fifine K8 that I use all the time and I use for gigging, and it doesn't like it. And there's a reason I think it doesn't like it. I've figured it out, which is this has a switch. This has like an on-off switch. And it was clicking and sending an electrical click every time. And then the mute wouldn't work. It wouldn't actually turn on the addario. So it doesn't work with this microphone, which is a bit of a shame. But it will work with a normal microphone that doesn't have a mute switch of its own. So, of course, it's a mute switch sensor and a mute switch. So maybe that was causing a conflict. I can't confirm that, but I just wanted to obviously let you be aware. If you do have a mute switch on your microphone already, check that that will work with it. Of course, if you're buying it from places like Thomann, you've got things like 30-day returns and stuff like that. But on the plus side, that is now staying on that microphone, and it just works. It works so incredibly well. Now, obviously, I'm going to be using that as part of my loop setup, so therefore I need to send 48 volt phantom power from the looper or from wherever the microphone's plugged into, so like the TC Helicon or the 600 or the Sheeran Looper X, whatever it is. But I've tested it with all of them and it works. It just didn't work with this microphone, but it does work with the other one. That's fine. There's even wireless microphone adapters that have a 48 volt option. So just have a look at that. Think about how you're going to perform with it. But honestly, for loop artists, this is a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. I couldn't recommend this high enough because it's one of those things where if you just pull away and you get it just right for yourself, you're going to have this great thing. But if you want to talk or sing really quietly, as long as you're close enough to the mic, it doesn't matter. It's going to be on or off, and that's it. You don't have to buy an extra pedal. Then you don't have to think about where that goes on the pedal board, or you don't have to turn one of the pedals on the RC600, for example, into a mic mute. For me, as a loop artist, this is just one of those aha moments. Like, why didn't they do this before? And honestly, I can see the future of microphones actually having these built in because it just works, and it works really, really well. If you have found the content of this video useful, give it a thumbs up for me. It really helps me, and it really helps the channel grow. If you're going to go and grab one of these, as I said, I've left links for Thomann at the bottom. They're the ones who sent it out to me. Thank you very much to them, because I'm going to be using it all the time. And I get used to, obviously, the distance. Once I get that right, done. It's kind of a set and leave option. Now, if you do like the channel and you want to see more of what I do, then a video has just come up, which is actually based on the algorithm, and it thinks about what you're watching and goes, you'll like this one the best. So for me, it's a complete and total mystery, but for you, you can see it, and it's different every time. Go watch it. Go and enjoy it, because the algorithm gods think you will. Enjoy.